Hey guys, and welcome back to another Jay the One Eye Gamer. Today's video is about Warriors Orochi 4 because we just got some more information last week. That information is in the form of a brand new character, 2 new deification forms, and 3 new weapons. So, without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? First off, let's talk about the brand new character that was announced, Athena. Personally, I'm not surprised that Athena was the next new character shown off. I kind of figured she was going to be in the game one way or another because when people usually think of the Greek pantheon, they usually think of like Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, the 3 brothers, like the 3 main gods, and then you also think about Athena and Ares because they're both Zeus's children. And that's my kind of thought with this, is that the other 3 characters left for the 5 new character positions, I think they're going to be Poseidon, Hades, and Ares because they all have a major connection to Zeus. I feel like that's a safe bet to include all 3 of those characters because they're the most popular, I think, Greek gods in the whole pantheon besides Athena. But besides that, looking at Athena's design, it looks really nice. I kind of enjoy it. It looks very goddess-esque. Like, she does look like she comes from another, like, you know, higher plane of existence than mortals. Her outfit, in my opinion, looks strongly reminiscent of Sophitia's outfit from Soul Calibur 5 when I think she was called Omega Sophitia. I get that kind of vibe from it, but that's just the vibe I get. I do enjoy her outfit. It's been keeping up with the motif so far with the like white and gold, and she's also got a different color variant with like what seems to be like either light blue, sky blue, or probably teal for the scarf on her back and the cloak. Other than that, you can tell she's got also what looks to be, I think, a deep blue brooch or necklace right beneath her neck guard, it looks like. And then her helmet, when I first saw that helmet, it made me think that she was actually a Valkyria, so I thought they were going into Norse mythology at that point because of just how it looks with the 4 angel wings. And mostly I think when people think like angel wing helmets or anything like that, they usually associate with Norse mythology. But also what's interesting from her is her weapon. Her weapon seems to be a mechanical shield of some kind, and this looks like it is a actual owl because the middle of the weapon looks like it has an owl motif on it. And for you guys that don't know, in mythology, Athena is associated with the owl because the owl represents wisdom because she's the goddess of wisdom. It's interesting that they gave her that weapon. Her fighting abilities with the shield, it looks like she's able to toss the shield out and make a like boomerang-esque attack with it. As you can see here, she throws that out and makes a hurricane and is able to suck peons in and keep them like juggled. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a Luling Chi's quad halberd ability, where if you hold the triangle or the charge button a second time, it is able to like stand there and just like do a vortex effect. So maybe it has some of that effect. And then in the next screenshot, we can see she can use it to turn into like a pair of jet wings that will let her traverse the battlefield. It seems a little faster. I don't know if it will have any applications in like a combo setting, but it looks like they're giving her the option to move a lot faster in case you don't want to use a mount. Story-wise, we find out that Athena was involved with something that she views as a betrayal to Zeus. We don't know if these events took place before or they take place during the events of Warriors Orochi 4. It is said that she feels responsibility for whatever happened as a betrayal to Zeus, and therefore she takes it upon herself to come down to the mortal plane to apprehend the person who did this. It's interesting to see how that dynamic's going to play out because in most fantasy, Hades is considered the most antagonistic towards Zeus, just because I think he is the lord of the underworld. But in mythology, he really wasn't that. He was kind of like he was just a stickler for the rules and very empathetic. So it's very interesting to see how they'll go. I wonder if Hades would be the main bad guy. Maybe he might team up with Orochi. I don't know. Story-wise, we're able to glean some of that information. So that means it's going to be interesting to see how the other Pantheon members get involved in this conflict, to see what they personally have involved. Ares is, I think, like the easiest person to add into the scenario because he's just the god of war, and literally you're just having a giant battle royale, and that would be something Ares would just jump on because being a god of war, he likes conflict. That's my thought. And then next we move on to the new deification forms for 2 officers. I was not expecting to get them. First is being Mitsunari Ishida himself, and I'm not a big fan of Mitsunari Ishida. I've never really enjoyed his playstyle or his character in Samurai Warriors. That being said though, if you personally enjoy him, that is awesome. Like, more power to you. I'm glad that you like him, and I'm glad he's getting a more prominent role in the story because, as they said, with the deifications, only 8 characters are getting it, and they're like the most pivotal characters in the story. That means he's going to be more involved this time around. But onto his outfit. Honestly, when I first saw this, I thought he like jacked Hermes' outfit and magical boots and literally just became a messenger. He does look like Hermes, the messenger god of Olympus, because in most depictions of Hermes, he's usually has boots of some kind that have wing motifs on it, and as you can see, he's also got a pair of wings near the base of the boots. But then as we rise up near, like, I think think the knees, we can see two giant like angel wings popping out from each side. I'm very curious to see how that's going to work in game. I don't know if that means he's going to have faster moveset, if he's going to be able to glide over the battlefield, because I feel like that's mostly going to be involved like traversing, but it could also be combat. I don't know. The rest of his outfit again follows the same motif. It's like gold and white along with what looks to be rainbow-esque colors, and we can also see his arms have what looks to be like angelic wrist guards on them, so it's very interesting. Other than that, not much to glean from it. It's Mitsunari Ishida. It looks interesting. Like, I would say this makes me interested to play him in the game. Next, we move on to one of my favorite way officers, and I'd probably put him at like my top 5 way officers, and that's Cao Pi, the son and true successor to Cao Cao. With Cao Pi, the same with Mitsunari, it looks like he literally just jacked the outfit from a Greek god himself. This one being more Poseidon, I think, just because of the shoulder guards being fish fins, it looks like, and his cape looking like water itself, like flowing water. I'm thinking either he's probably aligned himself with Poseidon if Poseidon's in the game, and that's him using him as an avatar on the world. I don't know. To go on with more of that motif, we actually get to see him in action, and he's actually wielding what looks to be Poseidon's trident, or at least what I would like to think it is. And in this first screenshot, you can see he's raising his arm, and he literally summons like a giant wave of water to knock the enemies back, and it just looks incredible. Like, it looks crazy about how much damage that can do. And then in the next scene, we get to see more of the trident, and it definitely does look like Poseidon's trident, and it's literally him calling down like an ice storm on the enemies, which is usually what he does with his movesets. What's interesting is we don't know if the trident is actually a magical weapon like with the other ones we have, or if it's actually a new moveset for him. Like, instead of being his dual swords, he might be able to use like Poseidon's trident and have a completely new moveset. The same with maybe like Mitsunari. We don't get to see any of Mitsunari's deification mode in action. It would be interesting to see if maybe when you go into deification, because like I said, Cao Pi is the only one we get to see in action, so we don't even know if like Yukimura, Zhao Yun actually get to keep their spears in deification. They might actually get access to brand new weapons, which would give them brand new movesets. I think that's food for thought, maybe something to look into when we get more information, but that would be my guess, because then that way you give these 8 characters brand new movesets with brand new weapons to like vary it up and treat it like they're brand new characters, because it sounds like this is going to be a power up. We don't even know how you enter this mode itself, whether it's you have to build up kills like it's the Musou bar, or if it's some other kind of thing. All in all, the new deification forms for Cao Pi and Mitsunari look really nice. Can't wait to see who the last, I believe, 4 characters are. Personally, like I said, I think Lubu and Tadakatsu are going to be involved in some way, just because they're fan favorites. Like, they're the next to, like I said, the poster boys, and I think like some of these characters here, they're the next most recognizable just because of how crazy and over top they are in their respective franchises. I feel like we're probably going to get maybe like 2 more women representatives, and I feel like they'll probably just be like the most popular women from Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors. I think Samurai Warriors would be Naotori Eel, and Dynasty Warriors, I personally would like Leanne Sure, but I don't know who the most popular female character is in Dynasty Warriors. Personally, I think it's a toss-up between Luling Chi, Guan Yingping, and Wang Yuanji. I think in my head, I think those are what the top 3 are, or at least that's who I think I see on polls for like female characters. I could be wrong, but please let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you think the last 3 Pantheon characters will be, and who do you think the last 4 characters to get deification forms will be? I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say. And then moving on, we're told that we get 3 new treasures. Technically, there's only 2 brand new ones. We just get the name of one because with Gracia, as we know in the previous one, she has access to a magical bow, which I assumed was related to Zeus because of how it looked. It was like blue, and it looked like it might have been shooting like lightning. But here we come to find out it's actually called Artemis's bow, and for you guys that don't know, Artemis is the Greek goddess of hunting, so it makes sense that her main weapon to give to the characters would be a bow. And as you can see with Gracia, she shoots off 3 magical arrows into the crowd. It looks like it's a little different from the one we saw before, which was fire arrows. These ones look more like celestial or like godly arrows in my opinion. But we finally get a name for that weapon. Then we get the 2 brand new weapons, and I apologize immensely for the pronunciation of both of these. Like, I'm going to try my best to say these. I apologize if my pronunciation offends anyone. First, we get to see a giant boar-esque creature, and that is called Gulingbursti. Like I said, I apologize immensely if my pronunciation is wrong and offends anyone. From what we can see, because we get to see Ma Chao on top of this wild-looking crazy boar that has glowing glowing yellow mane and giant tusks. It looks just interesting, and for some reason, like, seeing Ma Chao ride this giant boar and the way he's holding his spear just makes me laugh for some reason. It's like for some reason, it makes me feel like he's at a rodeo and he's just riding like a bull, but it's a hog. And it's not like a small hog, as we can see in the screenshot here. It's actually a very decent sized one, and you can even see Ma Chao's riding the back of him. He's treating it like a horse. That leads me to believe that either you can summon this treasure for a short period of time to act as a horse, or you might be able to ride it for a very limited time, or it might just be a charge attack where it just runs right through the enemy, because we can just see him barreling through like all these enemies, and him just, I don't know, just looking at Ma Chao on top of this board just is very comical to me. It's going to be very interesting to see what this treasure looks like in motion and how it's going to handle. And then next we get a look at Jushu and his weapon he's using, which again, I apologize for any pronunciation butchering I'm about to do. I believe the weapon is Gleipnir. I believe it's Germanic. Again, I apologize immensely for any mispronunciations I'm doing. But this weapon looks ridiculous. When I look at it, it reminds me of the twin flails or the twin chains from Dynasty Warriors 9. They're one of the few new weapons I really enjoyed in the game. So these look like just a more badass version of those. It also could look like if you just took the hook and string off of Jushu's sword and just like made it longer and put another one on. I don't know how that one's going to work either, because as we can see in the screenshot, he gets to connect them together to make a giant ring, but we don't know what it's doing. Essentially, we don't know if it's going to make anything fall on the officers. We don't know how he's going to be able to use it. Like I said, me personally, it looks pretty awesome. Out of the ones we've seen so far, this one has got me the most intrigued. And then the last bit of information we get are event scenes, and event scenes are pretty much what we've come to know from, like, you know, any Warriors games. It's just where certain events happen on the screen where we get to watch either some really cool fight scenes or plot progression and all that stuff. Essentially what Koei is doing with this is stating that, you know, this is a brand new start. You don't need to have played any of the previous Orochi games to get this story now, because it's just going to be like a soft reboot for the series. So that's very nice for anyone who hasn't played the series and didn't like keep up with the story, because technically at the end of 3 it was a very conclusive ending. Like I said, after you beat Shin Orochi, the worlds go back to normal, and then the Dynasty Warrior characters and the Samurai Warrior characters kind of forget each other and their experiences. So I thought that was like a clear way to end that kind of storyline. It's going to be interesting to see this from a different perspective with the Greek mythology. Hopefully going forward, the next reveal we get will be hopefully more story related, and also obviously the next character. I'm thinking the next reveal is either going to be Ares or Poseidon. Those are my two guesses for who I think is going to be revealed next. That's about to do it for this video, guys. I want to thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section letting me know which 3 characters do you think from the Pantheon are we going to get next. Who do you think are going to be the 4 last characters that get deification modes? How hyped are you for this game? Because honestly, I'm really looking forward to this, and we know it's coming out October 16th in America and October 18th for our friends in Europe, so we don't have that far to wait, guys. I'm looking forward to this. After Dynasty Warriors 9, I'm looking forward to going back to like a traditional Warriors game. I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be fun, especially with all the stuff they're adding and adding the new Greek motif to it. I think it's going to put some fresh air into the franchise. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I want to thank you very much for watching. I want to thank you very much for the views, the subscriptions. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you don't, that's okay. If you do click that subscribe button, please hit that little bell button. It lets you know when my videos go up for notifications, so you don't have to guess when they go up. Also, feel free to leave me a comment, as I said previously, in the comment section. If you don't want to hit me up there, please feel free to hit me up on my Twitter. I always try to get back to you guys as fast as I can on either. If you also feel like it, please share the video around. It really helps out the channel, and it gives more information about Warriors Orochi 4. That's going to do it for me, guys. I want you all to have a great day, and remember, let's rock!